Carlos, was that the first time that you left your body, that you were able to actually astral project? So far with the gateway process, all I've had is kind of a sensation of swaying back and forth. And I mean, I've only done it a limited amount of times, but I've noticed that doing breathing exercises like the Wim Hof method, for example, helps a lot when going into the gateway process, whether you do it before, after, or during. Not really after, of course, but oh yeah. So Carlos got out of body. What did you see while you were out there, dude? Was it, I mean, did you encounter beings? Was it like a dream? Could you see your own house, your own bedroom, or could you see your own body? Like, or did you go to a completely different, like a different place altogether? Deep fakes are these very realistic videos where you can make anyone look like they're saying anything. You can, I guess it's AI or whatever, but you can mock their voice, you can change the face, but you can take a footage of anybody saying anything and make it somebody else. It's kind of scary. What if you can't go back into your body and then you die? Maybe that's what happens when people die in their sleep, is they go astral projecting and then that shit goes wrong and then they can't return anymore. Show us an example of what exercises you practice for meditation. So, 7-letter Brandon, I do those on Sundays, but I can, so I'm kind of sitting back with a cat right now, but I can tell you that a lot of go-tos for me is Ego Eradicator, Breath of Fire, the Om chanting, of course, but a lot of Wim Hof methods. I tend to go to the Wim Hof method very often, whether it's just trying to focus or get up for work or even winding down. I do it oftentimes. One of my biggest kriya is to run the bath really hot with like Epsom salt, so you get a little numb, you know, and then you do the Wim Hof method kind of hardcore, you know, and right when the water, you realize the water's not really hot anymore because you've kind of transcended temperature. You start to get that real funny feeling, you know, that, and I bet you in that case, if you were to add the HemiSync technology on headphones, which is dangerous in the tub, I realize that, but if there was some way to do that, that might be a quick shortcut to leave your body, but you probably don't want to do that in water. I mean, let's be sensible, you know. I have done the float tanks before. Those aren't really much fun unless you're microdosing or on some kind of plant, you know. Oh, I'm getting behind here. It was a UFO, was a disco ball above my head. Really? So you saw things that weren't like objectively there. That's fucking crazy. Torn Campbell, author of My Big Toe, worked with Robert Monroe. He has his own channel. He disagrees with Bob in the way that all of the fear-based material and loosh. So I'm glad he disagrees with that because I want to disagree with it too. I don't want that to be a real thing. Did you summon a demon in order to do it? I think that must be asked to Carlos perhaps, but no, there's no summoning of demons going on over here. In fact, I was just talking on my last little live thing that I don't actually have any goetias, or what are they called? I don't have any. The less gateways of negative energies into my life, the better, you know. Do you know who Bob Beck is? Darkest Light, please tell me who Bob Beck is, because you have, Darkest Light, you have recommended some subjects to me recently that have blown my mind. I mean, you know, some people say it's the same, but I was just trying to get back in my sacrum right. Yeah. I guess, and that's another thing. Somebody was asking about the different Kriya and yoga exercises. I always add that little sacrum. Well, it's hard to say, but that little pinch, the genitalia, that pulse that you do, the tightening that you do in the sacrum, in with the inhale during both meditation, whether it's Wim Hof method or any tantric breathing exercises or Kriya. Even during yoga, sometimes I'll utilize that within the practice, that tension and that putting that tension in the pelvic region. It squeezes energy up your spine, up your cerebral spinal fluid, and if you do, like, for example, the Wim Hof method in the morning before work, it could be cold as all fuck, dude, but you'd be cool. I mean, you'd be okay. Oh, you did some yoga before. Did you do yoga before your astral projection? Again, did that help you, do you think? Can you repeat it, by the way? Do you have a method in which that it works for you time after time? So thought of any kind is counterintuitive to meditation. Is that how it works? Whenever I'm meditating, I think about a lot of shit. And I can't help it. But sometimes whenever I realize that I'm thinking, and I don't try to block the thinking, but sometimes when I realize that I am, I will kind of realize that I am. And in a way, I'll ask myself, like, I wonder what my next thought will be. And just that kind of, just that notion kind of hitting the brain from within causes not thoughts to stop, but sort of a pause between thoughts, in which case you kind of catch those little pauses between the thoughts and live in them for a second. Dive into those little gaps between those thoughts by asking yourself during meditation, I wonder what my next thought will be. And by the way, a lot of people don't realize is that with meditation, you can actually ask yourself questions because your subconscious mind has a lot of just beautiful information in it that it tries to tell you through dreams and synchronicities and whatnot. There's a lot of information there to be tapped into. You can ask yourself questions while meditating and just wait. After you ask the question, just wait. Don't make up your own answer. But also don't force yourself to not make up your own answer. Just shut the fuck up after you ask the question, and something happens. It won't be like a voice speaks to you. It's like you have an idea. Right after asking that question, you'll have an idea. And you'll look at that idea and you'll be like, well, son of a bitch, I guess that does tie to, what's going on with me. Kriya is a basically any form of exercise that attunes the body and cerebral spinal fluid, like yoga, breath exercises. Floor, it's important. The energy comes up from there. So Alan Anderson, I have, and so far all I've been able to do is basically I have this swaying sensation. My body's completely still, but I seem to be swaying physically. It feels like physically I'm swaying, and I've yet to actually pull myself out of the body. And strange enough, my 10-year-old son, Emery, which a lot of you guys are familiar with, he didn't come out of his body or anything like that, but he did report the same sensation of sway as I. Now, I did it stark ass sober, so I'm wondering what might happen if you were to possibly mix the gateway process with some kind of hallucinogens like psilocybin, peyote, or, I wouldn't, not LSD, of course, but something like that. But then again, and the reason I didn't do that is because if you are to experience something otherworldly during your astral projection, well, you'll never quite know if it was because of your astral projection or because of the hallucinogen. Bob Beck wasn't keen on the gateway process. His theory was that because of having to use the headphones through the whole thing off. Bob Beck is the inventor of the Beck techniques, where you use, and that's the end there. So Bob Beck is getting at the fact that he's not a skeptic. He thinks this is real, but he thinks they're going about it wrong, is what I'm picking up on. I want to read Bob Beck, though, because I'm a huge fan of Devil's Advocate. If there's anything I can do to disprove something, especially something that I'm into, I want all of that information, you know. There might be a reason for the thoughts, of course. I mean, I suppose by law of cause and effect, there's a reason for all thoughts, you know, but some thoughts, especially during meditation, they sure seem to be little surprises, little nuggets of what the fuckery. Eventually the sky clears. Oh, I suppose, okay, Alan, you mean through meditation. Sorry if I missed a comment before that. Hey, Jose, thank you for the Father's Day. I appreciate it. I had a wonderful Father's Day. It was very calming. The kids took me out to Applebee's after letting me fucking sit and read for 4 straight hours for probably the first time in forever. As soon as you realize those things and they became conscious, they're no longer in your subconscious. Yeah, Jose, exactly. And as Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it'll control your life and you'll call it fate. And that's exactly right. We become wiser and larger in consciousness every time that we have a realization of a subconscious thought. Whenever a subconscious thought occurs to us and we think about it consciously in our waking state, in I guess beta mode or whatever, it's like doing a push-up for your, not for your brain, but for your mind, you know. Alan, you get the sensation of your body twisting in on itself on hemisync till all sensation disappears and I can no longer sense it. Holy shit. So that's why so are you talking about meditation, Kriya, or are you talking about the hemisync gateway process itself with that? Because the way you're describing that sounds a lot like hemisync. It sounds a lot like the gateway process and sounds similar to what me and my son both experienced with it. Yeah, you have to play devil's advocate. No, and yeah, you get in trouble when you don't pick sides because then you're in trouble with fucking everybody. It's very much bullshit. People don't understand the importance of argument. How do you know you're right unless somebody is there to tell you you're wrong? It wouldn't make any sense to not have that. There are things that I believe in that I try to not believe, and then there's things that I don't believe in that I try to believe, and I don't know which one's better or worse, but the attempt has to be made when you are fascinated with something to debunk it. Otherwise, you're not being honest with yourself. Using the gateway tapes, I see. Okay. So you use the actual Monroe tapes themselves? The gateway process tape itself, and maybe I should try that one out. But just I've found different frequencies and binaural beats and whatnot on YouTube, you know, that I suppose have more modern appeal, I might say, than the old gateway tapes that are frankly kind of cheesy, you know. And that guy chimes in, the guy talking on the gateway tapes, he chimes in like while you're deep in it and you're like, oh shit, it startles you, you know. The trick is total mesenterperavia. I guess that might be a typo. You meant total sensory deprivation. And yes, I agree. That's once the senses are subdued, that's when the magic happens, you know. What are some of your beliefs? Oh my goodness. I guess the shortest answer for that would be that I try not to have beliefs, because the moment you have beliefs, you've limited yourself to what you can learn. So I believe in learning, and I believe in wisdom, and I believe in kindness, and I believe in Gnostic thought. But as far as joining a belief or subscribing to a belief or identifying with a belief system, you're immediately putting yourself into the cube, the black cube that we know of. You know, you have limited yourself now. All right, so Darkest Light, I'm sorry I missed that explanation of Bob Beck. Not only am I going to Google him tonight, but I'm going to scroll through these comments a little bit later. Hey, Gray Cornholio. Very nice to see you, Mr. FB. It's all good, bro. Thank you, dude. And by the way, a lot of you guys can thank the Great Cornholio here. I forgot Sean is, I guess you might not want me to say your name, but he gave a lot of information to me for this gateway process video. I was worried about doing this video because I didn't want to do a video where I just report on this report. I wanted there to be a twist. I wanted there to be some stank on it, you know, and so I was kind of looking for that twist, and I thought my twist was going to be its ties to the Tao and the unified field, but even that's covered in the gateway process itself, so that wouldn't be a twist. And then I came across the reptilians, which was brand new shit to me, and that's a whole thing. But Great Cornholio told me about the banana experiment that they did, as well as a couple other specific happenings within the gateway process that I was able to add to the video to actually get some, I think, very entertaining content, you know. So Monroe's binaural beats might be more powerful. You don't get the same sense. So you've, Alan Anderson, you've also tried them with the different binaural beats on YouTube, and you've tried multiple ones, and you have found definitively that the gateway process. So in that case, I wonder do I have to go through the tape from beginning to end, or can I just cut that and loop that actual like sound and just focus on that? Because what deters me about the actual gateway tapes itself is the talking in the beginning, the shit that we already know, you know, the stuff on how to relax and stuff like that. And to me, I feel like I'm possibly wasting about 20 minutes warming up with beach noises and shit. See, that's why it doesn't really quite work for me, but I will try the gateway process again. But like I said, I didn't quite get through it all the way, because once I started to kind of enter that state, the dude chimed in. He was like, okay. I was like, bro, I'm not excited about hearing you right now. You know? I have to keep picking this guy up because he keeps chewing on the little HDMI thing. Carlos, that's probably a very good piece of advice to remember the moving energetic torus around you. It's analogous to feeling time passing through the body. It gets the ball rolling for sure, too. So this is, I guess what you mean by remember the moving energetic torus is to visualize it, I suppose, or feel it, I guess, in a way. And then time passing through the body, I suppose that does make sense, because as the torus rotates and spins like I guess the term would be gyrates within itself infinitely, that itself is time, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that makes sense as far as to visualizing that energy field would certainly help one become in tune with the astral body. How do we transcend the reincarnation cycle? Austin, that is an amazing question, and I would love it if I was the guy qualified to answer that question, but that is quite a bit above my spiritual pay grade. I believe that I myself am probably on my millionth fucking reincarnation, if not the billionth, and probably just can't seem to get it right. So I'm the wrong guy to ask, but I would consult with the Upanishads, and I would consult with Manly P. Hall, and I would consult with the Tao Te Ching. Just those three right off the bat, I think would point you in the right direction. And I mean, I think though, if I was to hypothesize, it just comes down to righteousness. It comes down to how pure you can make your soul while tainted by the world, is what it seems like to me so far. Yeah, man, I appreciate you, Cornholio. My zodiac is I'm told it is a cusp. I was born on December 22nd, and I suppose that is a Capricorn and Sagittarius. I do enjoy dabbling in astrology, as you can tell by my Saturn video and the Great Teachers video. I should say, what was that one called? Mysterious Teachers, Ancient Teachers of Man or something. So astrology interests me, but the zodiacs, though, I always disregarded those as being a shopping mall ideal until they uncovered Göbekli Tepe. And we found that a zodiacal astrology is so much fucking older than we thought. Before the Ice Age, we had the zodiac. And with that information, I'm going to be no one for cognitive dissonance. If Jung is interested in it, and it was found as in 12,000 years ago, if not more, 13,000 years ago, whatever, maybe there's something more to it that I'm missing, and maybe it's the zodiacs have been tainted by pop culture so much that I turned off to it, the same way that the church does with Jesus. You know, they make it so watered down and silly that you just can't pay attention to it. But now, the more I look into it, and its ties to the esoteric philosophy, I really can't ignore it much anymore. The same as reptilians. It's one of those things where I try to ignore it, but whenever you research these things, fuck, it keeps coming up, you know? Okay, so yeah, you ignore it, try to meditate for like 4 hours. Once you get through the first couple waves, it gets a lot more intense, like focus 15 and 21. All right, I'm gonna do that tonight. Actually, tonight would be a good day to do it. I had plenty of work and exercise done today, so I'm thoroughly gonna be relaxed towards the end. Can I find it on YouTube? Is the full thing on YouTube? Knows how to make a Sony 4K quit automatically shut off? Let me know. I lost the instruction booklet. I heard about it with binaural beats. It has to be synced to the right frequency, and YouTube and other platforms can't sync it right because there's a standard that was set on what can be heard at a CE. Certain tones. I see. So, and that would make sense whether it's on accident or on purpose. I'm not surprised to hear that YouTube somehow fucked that up. Well, I shouldn't say that. I fucking love YouTube. I'm a YouTuber, and you guys are YouTubers, and we get a lot of good, juicy fucking information from YouTube that we, of course, have to verify with books. Let's keep it reeled in. But by the way, guys, that's something I want to bring up, and it's off subject. You'll never hear me report anything that I learned about on a YouTube video. I'll be inspired sometimes by YouTube documentaries and whatnot, but I'll never write anything for these episodes that come from a YouTube video without first hitting the library, bookstore. Before every video, I make sure to get about 3 or 4 books on the subject that are verifiable with credentials and sources. What do you, man? 7-letter Brandon, you are on fire with like the deepest damn questions. What do you happens when you die? I suppose you mean what do you think happens when you die? So imagine your body as a neighborhood or a community. The bacteria in your gut breaks down food, and then it has to work with amino acids to turn that into a certain kind of food for these little robots that turn the amino acids into DNA strands, and then those fucking strands go down a factory line, and your entire body is a universe of shit going on, just like our universe. And what I think happens is when the body departs, the consciousness that is embedded or coded into that community, that thought form, that egregore of thought form that is your entire community of your body, scatters outwardly. Not only does your body become food for the earth, but all of the information stored within your DNA and all those little critters within you that live on, considering that consciousness permeates all things, I think it spreads out and you widen. And that's where you kind of have that experience where your consciousness is now not tethered to anything anymore. And you can kind of observe these things on a wider scale than you ever have. And that would be kind of stage 1. But then stage 2, I believe, would be the return of that information to the Bardo, or which it would be called in Egypt, or in science today, we might call it the unified field. In the gateway process, they called it the absolute. The Tao, for example, I think it returns to some kind of source, and then it adds its information to a library, like the Akashic records of sorts, where you can stay within that sort of Bardo, exchanging information with different thought forms and whatnot. But then, depending on the repair done to your soul and what you've learned here in samsara between reincarnations, choose to come back to learn more, or to alleviate suffering as the Buddha did, or maybe be forced to come back because you're in fucking rehab and Earth is a fucking prison and your soul needs to go there to learn some shit, or to escape that bit of samsara, like your first question. Just, I guess, learn what the Zen masters have been talking about, and that's the paradox. There is the Zen masters didn't do much talking, so you kind of got to read between the lines on that one. I think, okay, so Great Kanhoro, I believe once you reach your light, your highest chakra, you are then able to sink naturally. Once you've reached that, you may reincarnate. Or do you mean disincarnate? That last part kind of confuses me, but I like where you're going with this, because it did, as we just learned in the gateway process, apparently you don't need, once you hone in and tune yourself enough, you don't need these binaural beats and these tapes to leave your body. You can do it at will. Alan Anderson, have they not have they not disclassified all hemisync gateway files? I was under the impression that page 25 made the cut, which, by the way, if you guys are wondering why I left out the whole page 25 controversy, well, you won't be surprised to hear my reason for that, is that it's covered in every video on YouTube. Whenever you guys watch a YouTube video of mine, I want you to bet your ass that you're going to either learn something new about it or connect that dot to something else that's going on, like the reptilians thing. I'm not going to just report on something and tell you the same shit that the other YouTube videos are telling you. I'm going to try to connect it to something else every single time. And I hesitate to use the word try there because I really don't have to force those connections. When you learn something new and you read enough Joseph Campbell or Jung or Today's Science or quantum physics or anything, you realize that this is this. They're the same thing. We're describing this same thing, you know? This Reddit post has other links. All right. Send me that. What link do you look up on the way back, though? I'm not sure what you mean. Alan, you might be talking to someone else, I suppose. If that one was for me, let me know and explain your question. I'm not quite catching it. Oh, Cornholio says, Alan, they're all on the Wayback Machine, which I'm not sure what that is. Oh, can't post links here. Yeah, Alan, your links didn't show up, but they will in the comments. So if you want to, and it actually, believe it or not, helps me in the algorithm, go over to the YouTube video we all just watched, the gateway process, and you can drop your links in there, and I'll see them there. I try to respond to everything in there. And that shouldn't have a lot of comments yet, so it will be easy to find. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, narrated by Leonard Cohen. No fucking way. I didn't know that fucking existed. And that's on YouTube. Lily. Yeah. Fucking A. All right, I'm probably going to look that up. Well, I want to try the rest of that gateway process tonight, but I'm going to look that shit up. I fucking love a good documentary, especially when it's well spoken, and I can tell that is going to be a good one. Cornholio is his definition of reincarnate: to leave this life form you are currently experiencing in your current body and graduate to the next life experience. And I like the way you put that. And something that's very comfortable to know is that apparently, unlike a lot of the leading religions talk about, you can only move forward and up. According to the Upanishads and certain Vedic scriptures, you can't really evolve downwards unless you do voluntarily in order to teach yourself something or a lesson in this particular life. But apparently, if you are doing what you can to transcend, make kindness your religion, you can only move up and forward when reincarnating. It's not like you're going to let me check the time here real quick. 6:45. I probably got another 10 minutes. Tuxedo says, what's the deal with astral projection? I'm going to assume that you're either didn't catch the premiere or you're trying to be like Jerry Seinfeld. Say, what's the deal with astral projection? That would fucking kill if he came out with that opening joke. Okay, yeah. So, Jose, says, I wanted to ask you about the UFO sighting in Las Vegas since you told me about the Zimbabwe incident. Yeah. So, okay. I whenever I did this video, I put up a poll that said, what do you guys want to see next? And one of the options was hypersentient cryptoids. So I wanted to do, and tell me if you guys are interested in this, but like that UFO that landed where something came out of that craft in Las Vegas, the Flatwoods Phantom was a being that emerged repeatedly from the woods. And there's basically been not cryptids, but cryptoids, like humanoid intelligent beings of non-human origin that reoccur throughout history. I want to pick like 3 of them, maybe Flatwoods for sure, Flatwoods Phantom, Mothman, the Greys, whatever the fuck happened in Brazil. You guys remember the Brazil thing just fucking happened. I mean, they're reporting on it now, but it was like 2017 or whatever. But yeah, I might do a video on hypersentient cryptoids and include what happened in Las Vegas. But yeah, that is a wild story. But so only one family actually saw the beings, and then the beings were gone by the time the police got there. So I'd be more want to investigate the Brazilian incident that happened not so distant, where a lot of people saw the beings, and even doctors saw the beings and came forward. And that's it. Is such a fucking incredible story. My thoughts on Agartha. So, okay, hold on. Blade of God, yeah, it's kind of like an avatar as you pass through each one. Thank you, Astro Sandoval. I appreciate you, bro. The Kabbalah and the Zohar. My favorite part of the Kabbalah is where it says we should all become one thing, one living creature, and make sure it's permeated in bliss. This fucking sunlight is destroying this video, isn't it? No, that's worse. All right, well, all right, guys, there's a glare of sunlight in our video, so maybe it just makes me look more majestic. Okay. A 7-letter Brandon, have I encountered ghosts or spirits? Yes, I have many, many times, but not under natural circumstances. It was always with DMT. So my thoughts on Agartha, dude, I want to do an entire video on Agartha and tie it into the reptilians. And I've been reading a lot about it lately. And I think that the earth is cavernous, like a lava rock, like Swiss cheese. I don't think it's perfectly hollow, but I have no idea. But I think that there is a lot of weird shit going on, especially during the Younger Dryas. A lot of species went underground to escape. And if there was intelligent species that went underground, and then generations and generations later, they stay there, and then one day they say the humans have infected the entire surface. Yeah, there's a lot to read into with Agartha, and I'm very interested in that entire concept. Even if it's just mythology, I want to know more about that. If I move this here, will that help the sun glare a little bit? No, that's just too fucking damn close. See all my pores and shit. Bill Cooper was absolutely a legend. I just got his book Beyond a Pale Horse, and I haven't really planned on reading it quite yet. But I had to have it because it's absolutely an occult. Really, I think he was really onto something. But I also believe that he might have been led astray by a bit of CIA disinformation as well to make him sound crazy. So I think by the time his life was ended, I do believe he was assassinated for what he knew. I think that he might have been a bit deluded by misinformation, but he did predict 9/11. And I'm not talking about some mystic prediction Nostradamus bullshit. I'm talking about Bill Cooper came straight the fuck out 2 months before 9/11 and was like, gave details on what was going to happen. And he was fucking correct. So, I mean, what do you do with that? Yes, like you don't learn anything here currently. You work, sleep, eat, and then you repeat this prison. If you learn, you graduate and can experience something new. I fucking love that shit. So yeah, you're not obligated to learn anything on Earth. It's up to you to do so. You know, that's fucking beautiful. I think Manly P. Hall would be very proud to read that. Lilith! Jose, if you could be more specific with your question, that would help me a lot. Can demons or ghosts be generated from within, like a portal? Cough, cough, solar plexus. Oh, I like how you put that, solar plexus. Yeah. Carl Jung would 100% agree with you, Blade of God. Carl believed that ghosts, apparitions, and these things, these phantoms that happen, are oftentimes projected by the collective unconscious. Not just the collective unconscious, but also your particular personal unconscious. That's why some people see different things than others whenever they have the same type of ghostly experience. He also said the same thing about UFOs early in his career, whenever UFOs really started blowing up because of the atomic weapons being detonated. But in his older age, Jung, believe it or not, switched his ideal from there's no fucking water left in that. Switched his ideal from humans projecting UFOs to realizing within a vision that it could be that they are projecting us. And he clarified that he couldn't really put any hard science on that, but it was a notion that came to him within a vision that he took very seriously. So, I mean, fuck, chew on that for a minute, right? Yeah, the Brazil thing was fucking crazy, dude. Oh, fuck, I'm way behind on this. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. They say the devil, Blade of God, Lilith, depicted in summation, bowls and chains. They say the devil's an attractive woman dancing naked. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to argue with that at all. I want to see a picture of this Lilith, though, depicted like this. Not for shut up, not like that. But it would that would be really cool alchemical artwork. Jerry Seinfeld, dude, his comedy is brilliant. I don't give a shit if he's. I like clean comedy. Jim Gaffigan, Jerry Seinfeld. What's that new comedian? I fucking love him. He's clean. He doesn't curse or anything. But John Mulaney is absolutely brilliant. I'll laugh for fucking 45 minutes, and he's not filthy. I could watch him with my kids. Dude, the sunlight was perfect. I fucked it up, man. I messed it up here. There you go. Let's get some of that. There it is, right there. We put a little a fog machine with it. Rob DeClue. I think the Agartha thing is one of the most compelling, considering how much we don't know about our own Earth and its cave systems. Dude, Rob, for real, we have excavated, I shouldn't say excavated, but we have explored about 60% of Earth's surface. So really, we know nothing about the caves. Like, except for we're somehow able to navigate to the back of the caves to make their cave paintings, knowing that that if their paintings were in the very, very back of the cave, it'd be free from weather, therefore it'd be preserved, you know? Alan Anderson, you cracked me up. Holy shit, seven letter Brandon. That's wild as hell. Dude, I would faint if I seen that shit happen. What's up with your camera? It's got a bad battery. I don't know. I think the sunlight was like fucking shit up, but now it's starting to like go down or whatever. Don't look at my feet. Shut up. They need work. If I go get a pedicure, they're gonna have to bust out like a Metabo grinder or something like that. Sparks are gonna be flying. I can fiddle with this all day. It's just fun because it's weird that how many versions that I can see of myself. This cat keeps playing with it. Yeah. She's not here right now, or he's not here right now, but yeah. The sunlight illuminates just as the knowledge does. We got poets in this motherfucker. Yeah, the Enviromad, the craziest thing is a whole race is enslaved with a purpose of greed. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Not just metaphorically speaking, but fucking literally. It sits with you forever. Damn. Like the memory of it, or is it still like part of you? 7 letter Brandon. Jupiter and Saturn, brain size. Well, so I guess they don't necessarily have brains, but I do believe that planets are sentient beings, just like the bacteria in our gut is sentient because it's alive and working, and we are sentient. Well, as above, so below, right? I think that planetary bodies and cosmic figures are sentient. Thank you, Jose. See that crispy fade. Right. That's yeah. So Walter, that's yeah. If they live within different dimensions, especially higher dimensions, they'd be able to pierce ours, therefore appear and disappear. Just like if there was bacteria in a dish and that was in 2D and you pierce something into that bacteria, it would appear to them. And they'd be like, oh, there's fucking something right there. But when you pulled it out of the petri dish, they're in 2D, they'd be looking, where the fuck did it go? Having no idea that the concept of up even exists. So in a way, we are the astral creatures to other beings. And if we're so much more advanced than bacteria, imagine how much more advanced the higher sentient creatures are than we. All right, so Enviromad says demons and ghosts are your inner fears projecting. I tend to agree with that. Yes, I think Jung would also agree. We need an Edgar Casey video. Oh God. So yes, I agree, and I want to do an Edgar Casey video. When I was like 14, I read, it was like an 800-page dissertation on Edgar Casey's entire life, and I just ate it up. And the story of Edgar Casey is absolutely unbelievable. I haven't yet to find a way to tie it to something bizarre or esoteric. And I also haven't really found an angle on it that hasn't been done yet. I can put my own personality and take it. It's a fucking great story, and it's worth diving into because of its legitimacy and credibility. But it doesn't lead me to anything that needs to be changed about the world or ourselves. And I think that might be an easier connection to make than I'm actually postulating. But for me to make a video, I feel like it has to be something that's going to make people go, oh fuck, hold up a second, we have to improve either ourselves or our community. Even strange ass videos like the Baltic Sea anomaly and the Face on Mars connection, and even though it's an entertaining video on these strange happenings and subject these mysterious places, I still had to kind of throw in there a theme of, well, NASA lies to us constantly, and there's cover-ups 100, and that's a pertinent thing that needs to be known by people. And I would love to do an Edgar Casey video, but I have to be able to tie it in with something that causes change within communities, you know? You didn't, all right, so user admin, you didn't come here to ascend. You came here to help the planet ascend. You have already ascended before on other planets. Why haven't you ascended on this one? Does ascension mean you have to leave? That's fucking interesting. The first part of that, the way you phrase that, is absolutely hypnotic. You didn't come here to ascend. That's selfish. You came here to help the planet ascend, which is you and everyone. It's us. That's absolutely fucking beautiful, user. I'm going to say your name. C:\user /admin. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. Wonderful comment. We are watching you watching us. It's a matrix. It's a bit of a mind fuck. I need to move this damn pop filter. I should have the little pop filter right there, so I can be talking like this and stuff. Like that's what you guys might not know, is like, this is what I sound like in real life, but when I do these little intros and outros for the video, I always get all close to the microphone and get all very white, baby. Yeah, gotta do a nice low voice for all the intros and the outros, you know. Get your feet done. No, I won't do it. I'm not getting my feet done. They will. My feet are in boots 8 hours a day. There's no hope. Okay, so I do 7-letter Brandon. I believe that the future of humanity is positive. I believe it to be moving upwards, and I think there's a lot of shit nowadays about the world killing itself, and it's probably not wrong, but I do see humanity moving upwards. So Manly P. Hall, Arturo Sandoval, are you new to Manly P. Hall, or are you well, with esoteric teachings and Gnostic philosophy? If you are you talking about a lecture on YouTube, or are you talking about like a book? Because if you're new to Manly B. Hall, get Initiates of the Flame. You can't go wrong with it, whether you're new or not, because it's a thin book, and it's Initiates of the Flame ain't gonna run you but $14 new, and it'll cost you maybe $4 used, because it's a little guy, but it does have illustrations and whatnot, and it's Manly P. Hall's first book. It's a great starting point for anybody who wants to get, real occult with this kind of shit. And speaking of Kundalini, I just happened to open it to this spot. When the spiral fire of man starts upwards in its wanderings, it stops at many shrines and visits many holy places, the chakras. For like in the Masonic brother and his Jacob's ladder, the way that leads to heaven is upward and inward. Well, shit, that's kind of what we were just talking about. What's freaky is that this camera keeps shutting off, and it's becoming more and more frequent. So I'm going to have to end this pretty quick. I'm going to do the next live shit that we do after a premiere. I'm going to try to go live after every premiere until I get, more members or whatever, which don't worry about. but I'll keep doing this. But I need to figure out how to make this camera. Again, if anybody knows how to make a Sony 4K stop shutting off, whatever. Oh, that's what you're talking about the battery. No, the battery is actually, it's plugged in right now. It's charging as we speak. I keep it plugged into this wall. This camera never really moves around too much besides this, you know? So yeah, it's a setting that saves energy, I guess. And I need to fix that. I'm amazed how you're able to respond to everyone. Well, Jose, don't be amazed. There's not a lot of you yet. So, but hey, you guys get little stars and stuff on your name the more you comment and whatnot. So I can see like Darkest Light right here. I can see that she's got a little star by her name. So she's like a veteran on this page. So whenever there starts to be like too many comments here, all of you guys, the OGs, will stick out to me, and I'll make sure I can get to you guys first, even in the future, if this shit goes upwards and inward. And by the way, with Manly P. Hall, just go on. Yeah, where are you at, Jose? Wait, Lily, you're the best. Gifted 5 Library of the Untold members. 5? Lily, you gave away 5 memberships. Dude. Okay, high five me right now. Don't break your phone or computer screen. Thank you, Lily. You are amazing. But what did you ask me up here? Let me see. Damn, I lost mine. How about connecting Darkest Light? How about connecting Edgar Casey to people, healing people in Asia, being healed through thoughts and inner connections? That's fucking great. So we could do like a Zen video, like a Eastern thought, almost a non-dual thinking type of video, tying Zen and the Zen masters and Lao Tzu and whatnot to what Edgar Casey was able to do, which in a way, maybe that's how the Zen masters were able to perform miracles in the first place, the same as Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey happened to go into slumber to find his information, whereas the Zen masters would go into Zazen, or Samadhi to gain there. And what if that's the same thing? So that's a fucking great angle. Zen and going into Samadhi, and Edgar Casey sleeping to gain information from the Akashic records. That's fucking good, Darkest Light. Thank you. I'm gonna write that down. How Elon became the richest public man, SpaceX being contracted by NASA. Dude, I apologize, Antoine. I don't know anything about that. Thanos, can you do a Thanos impression for us? What? So you're gonna make fun of me. All you guys are probably gonna give me shit. Tell me who Thanos is, or show me a thing. I'd have to hear him too. But I'm not sure who Thanos is. Let me know who that is. Arturo, you are welcome. Antoine, thank you. Oh, damn, user admin. Okay, let me see if I can read this here. I should say it. All right, I'm going to try to say what user admin is saying in the best way I can think of that. Hopefully I said that right. But I guess what that means is contraction of the road, used in Jewish sources, refer is, of course, exactly what we've been talking about here, especially with the gateway process. And apparently there's a lot of different ways to do that, Arturo, I want to do an entire video on the Kundalini sacred secretion. It's probably be a fucking 45-minute video, but a good tie-in for that is I wanted to do a Wim Hof. So Wim Hof brought a lot of these things to the West, these exercises, but they're all Eastern exercises. So I want to do a Kundalini video documentary and introduce it with Wim Hof to give it authenticity. You know, that's coming up in the future. A good YouTube vid is the Akashic Records by Manly P. Hall. I'll check that out for during work tomorrow, if at all possible. That sounds like a great one. I do listen to Manly P. Hall quite a bit on YouTube. Anything he has to say, I'm. So Zoroastrianism, Colby, Zoroastrianism is very interesting to me because it's the old, as far as we can tell, it's the oldest religion besides Hindu. Well, I should say it's kind of the more, I don't want to call it a Christian religion, but a precursor. And being kind of, you know, Westerners, all of us need, we need translators of this Eastern philosophy to be able to understand it. And Lily, you did not just get 5 more. SS, you got nailed with a gift by Lily. What's up? Lily, you are killing it today. Oh shit, you make me proud. My feet are not in boots right now, but my feet are in boots, but my mind is like Plato or Aristotle. I'm gonna let you know right now, Jose, I am nowhere near the brilliance of Plato. All I can do is my best to read him. So Q and Polari, thank you for getting memberships. Thank you for accepting the memberships from Lily. And again, Lily, thank you so much for dishing out these memberships. This is fucking great. I'll be sure to, whenever we do these chats, I'm going to hit you guys up first whenever there's a lot more people. No, Blade of God, don't feel bad about your comments. Say anything. Play devil's advocate. Ask questions, you know, do it. Be skeptical. That's what's up. We need that. Enviromad, dance with no fear or external desire. That's going to be my motto for like a week. Yes, Jose, you are correct. Lily, thank you so much for the gifts. You are incredible. Yeah, I think Cornholio, that would be the Kundalini one would be a great one. And by all means, dude, if you collaborated with me on this one, by all means, let's get together for that one. Oh, on the mic, fuck. I hope so, Jose. I certainly do hope so. So Carlos T says, Josh Brolin, bro. Okay. So Thanos. That's not the God of War guy. That's on Iron Man, right? That's Josh Brolin did he's on Iron Man, and he what does he sound like? What's the catchphrase he says? Someone remind me of like it's on the preview of the movie. What does he say in the movie? I'll try to do it. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate it. Yeah, my camera is haunted. Yeah. I don't speak Hebrew either, so no worries there. I suppose Ivan from last week does, though. What foods do you eat? Or do you try to avoid lab food? To eat good food And whenever I go grocery shopping, I go out of my way to get nuts and leaves and green shit and fucking tomatoes and all that and fruits and stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I'm on the run a lot and I find myself eating a lot of Quick Trip. Those fucking roller grills. Oh, God. And I also eat, I drink Monster Energy drinks too. Those teas, the rehab ones. They're so fucking good. But yeah, I need to quit that shit. My inspirations growing up, Yogo Boy, was you're not gonna guess it, but Adam from Counting Crows was my first ever just obsession at the age of like 5, 6. That first Counting Crows album blew my mind, and to this day is my all-time favorite album. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, that is the Dookie Green Day, by the way, specifically. And then that evolved into like, as I became a teenager, more like Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, Cannibal Corpse. But I also love a lot of like Matchbox 20 and whatnot. But that's all musical. It really wasn't until my adult years that my heroes began to become Jung and Manly P. Hall, Terrence McKenna, Jason Silva, Alan Watts, Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson, Immanuel Kant, Eric Newman, Russell, Walter Russell is I'm just now getting into. So Josh Brolin is in. Oh shit! I'm getting a call from Katie. Hey, what's up?
When I'm on
the real quick
YouTube channel, how do I get to the the statistics, like the charts?
Yeah. Oh, to the analytics.
Yeah, the analytics.
Go to a video, click on any video, or go to YouTube Studio, and then go to any video, and then click on. By the way, I'm live right now, so everyone say hi.
Okay, hi.
This is Caitlin. She's a media coordinator for us, and she takes care of. Caitlin takes care of the Instagram and the TikTok. Yeah. So hit everybody, if you get a chance, go over to Instagram and TikTok and subscribe, because we're going to be posting shorts and stuff from there. But yeah, go to the video and then click on a video.
I see it.
Yeah, analytics. Okay. Yeah, and that'll tell you the kind of the drift in which we're moving. Yeah,
I'm showing my friend Brazier right
here. Hey. This is Caitlin's friend Brazier.
Childhood friend. Hi.
All right, well, I gotta get back to these questions, and I'm gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. But all right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so Carlos says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Are you gonna? He sounds like you, bro. Oh, already. Josh Brolin. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to look this up. No Country for Old Men. I could see him in that. That was a fucking great movie. I will do this again, Jose. I'm gonna do this after every premiere, hopefully. Yeah, it's a great after work activity. Jordan Maxwell, a student of Manly P. Hall. I have not heard of him, Yugo Boy, but I am going to now. Just like I did on the last podcast. I'm not podcast, whatever this is. I went live and showed off my bookshelf. I think that video is still up. I went back through the comments and I read some of your guys' recommendations, and I got those books on the way right now through Amazon. And then I bought a book called Book of Wonderful Suffering from Amazon. That turned out to be a total fucking load of shit. All right, so Leo Capira loves Cradle of Filth too. All right, so Lady Capira, you're gonna laugh at me, and everybody feel free to make fun of me for this, but I am a huge fan of Cradle of Filth, and I can almost do the thing. Hold on, I'm gonna try it right now. I need to I just shut off because it was like, dude, stop. uh yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Jordan Maxwell. That's two people now. Krishnamurti. Yes, I have. Man, I got comments on Krishnamurti. In fact, he might be the source of an entire video on its own too. A fascinating character, and I can listen to him on YouTube. He's a weird looking old dude or whatever. He kind of needs to fix his hair, but which, I mean, that's not Zen of me to say, but he's a fascinating character, and the way he came to awakening and the way he explains awakening is absolutely brilliant. Sorry, Carlos, I had to do it. I can do the low ones too. He does like the low ones. I can try to be like, but it's been like, man, dude, it's been fucking months since I did music or anything like that. So, I think I can do a decent John Davis. I'm told I can do like what's a John Davis line? Besides the boom doctor, but just his singing voice that what's I can't know, I'm blanking on a song. A place inside my mind, a place I like to hide. You don't know the chances. And then, you know, his signature voice, what if I should die? So that's one of my favorite little voices John Davis has going on. What did I just come into? Oh my God, Rise in Ability. That is so much information to have right now. So you lost your virginity to the song Blind. You guys are fucking killing me, dude. Oh, yeah, Alan Watts. And I forgot to mention Ram Dass in my little list of heroes there. I can't do the Are You Ready? It's that he's too good. I can't get low enough. I don't know how he does that, you know. I can do like the Om chanting, but his guttural, like I can do like the like I can do that kind of low, but I can't do that. Are you know, without whispering it. Another thing I was fucking with was Tibetan throat singing. Took an interest of mine for a couple weeks, and I'm still no good at it, but I can sort of hit tones like the it's kind of loose, but like it really rattles your brain if you get it down. You make that crackle in the throat, and it creates like a tone. It like, I swear, it like rattles your brain just enough to where if you're very relaxed, almost causes like a kind of a hemisync, you know. Rise in Ability, I would love to hear that. Hopefully someday we can have like videos up for everybody or whatever. Yeah, you all want a single. It's absolutely classic. I can do the Gnostic hymns, and those are perfect. King Ambrose, what are the fucking Gnostic hymns? Tell me, dude, send it. Send whatever you got over to me. I'm Joe Phipps on Facebook. Message me with a link to whatever the Gnostic hymns are, because that sounds awesome. Rise in Ability. Okay, cool. You just emailed me. No problem, dude. I'll email you back, dude. I suppose I went to the library of the untold at gmail.com. But for anybody here, by the way, all you guys are going to be the OGs of this channel, of course. You guys are the first, you know, group here. On Facebook, it's just Joe Phipps, JoePhipps. Feel free to hit me up. Especially you guys, if you guys are getting flyers in the mail, feel free to tag me, you know, and if you guys put them up or whatever. Yeah, I sent it after you live yesterday, Rise in Ability. Okay, cool, man. I'm gonna check that out. All right, man. On that note, guys, I guess I'm gonna jump off of here. It's been fucking awesome to talk to you guys. On the next one, remind me, and I'll look up Thanos right now, and I'll try to do a I'll try to do a Thanos impression. If he's like, I don't know, inevitable, he goes, I guess he's like, I am inevitable, or something like that. I don't forget. Or when he said, whenever she asks him what's the cost, and he's like, everything. So yeah, Josh Brolin's definitely got that voice going for him. But all right, guys, I'm gonna end this live stream, and you fucking made my day. I thought the premiere was gonna be awesome, but this chat turned out to be absolutely wonderful, and I fucking love you guys, and thank you so much for coming through for me, guys. I'll talk. By the way, I'm not being paid by Body Armor, so heads up. But thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you later.